fuck this section of the story in the arsehole. With the others? Chris repeated. Are you with a group of people? The two climbers stuck their chests out. Ollie was the best group of people you could ever meet in this building, Popo said. Look, Chris, if you ever want to survive, you must join a group of characters here. I think it fucking clicks, alright. Playing it alone is mostly dangerous and will only hurt you. He eyed Lucario for a bit. Maybe having that guardian around won't be enough for you. I'm not trying to insult you, of course, he defended once Lucario sent a glare at him. Luckily for you, Chris, our group has categorized every person into the right groups. Nanan. Bit of a misprint there. Nanan produced a piece of paper from her pocket and gave it to Chris to read. Here you go. This super item will tell you who you need to avoid and who you need to hang out with, she said, unfolding the paper to the teen so that he could read it on the counter. The boring ones. Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Marth, Roy, Mr. Game & Watch. The quiet ones. Samus, Zelda, Yoshi. The cynic ones. I wasn't really focusing there for a second. Fox, Falco, Mewtwo. The bubbly ones, Peach, Captain Falcon. The rotten ones, Bowser, Ganondorf. The cool ones, Godly Ice Climbers, Kirby. It just says Godly Ice Climbers. Kirby, Ness, Pikachu, Pichu, Young Link, Jigglypuff. What about Link? What is he going to all that? Oh well. Chris narrowed his eyes at the first people listed under the cool ones and then stared at the two kids. They both quickly took the paper back, messily scribbled all over the extra word, and put the paper back on the counter as they put up blank looks with blushing cheeks. What's a character without some ego? Popo asked. Yeah, don't judge us. You surely do the same thing, Nana accused. I'm not egotistical enough to describe myself like that, Chris scolded. I'll pretend I didn't see that to avoid more arguments with you. Good, Popo said. That paper told you the right kind of group to be with. Our group is pretty safe and is able to keep the others away, unless we're the ones who end up causing the explosions. Don't make that face, you won't get injured. Us children are the smartest people of the bunch, Nana said. Children? I mean, are Pokemon really children? Kirby? I don't know, whatever. Don't make that face, you won't get injured. Us children are the smartest people of the bunch, Nana said. With another 10-year-old like you in our ranks, those other guys will have to think twice before they mess with us. Well, I'm 16, Chris said. The two kids froze, their smiles intact and their eyes blinking. Sorry, Chris, but you're out of the league by default. By default, okay. It's still fucking going. Oh yeah, the kids are the cool ones. Yeah, check it out. The Goonies, whatever. Popo quickly said, just as he quickly took a sip of his orange juice. Well, what? I still have a heart of a kid in me, and no, I'm not childish. Oh, saying you're not childish takes points away from your score, Popo said. Our group embraces childishness to a T. Then how is it possible to survive if you're childish? Doesn't that get on people's nerves? You fucking tell me. Sometimes, but we bear it, Nana shrugged. You know what? I won't even bother with your group, Chris said, getting dull looks with the kids. I'll try to make my own group. I'm sure you're not telling the whole story about everyone else. Oh well, good luck with that, Popo said. Something occurred to Chris to say to the two stuck-up kids, recalling the past hours they met. If what he had planned in mind was true, he would expect the right kind of reaction from them. I suppose this is the end of our friendship, he said. The kid stopped eating, staring empty air. If I'm not allowed to get into a group even after making friends with you, maybe it's not worth trying to keep a connection any longer. The kids had reacted the way he wanted them to react, but it had worked too well, because they pushed their plates aside and lunged themselves to hug or glomp Chris in desperation. The sudden tackle of both almost made Chris fall down his chair, but Lucario quickly reacted and kept him from tumbling down, without of course forgetting to glare at the weeping children. We are sorry! Popo cried loudly. We don't want to stop being friends with you. Please don't, Nana sobbed. You're really the nicest person we've met who hasn't tried to blow our skulls apart. We're not going back to that cruel phase of our lives again. Please don't leave us. There's a sudden Their sudden change of attitude was too hard to believe, but Chris had a very good lie detector to use at hand. Lucario, are they telling the truth? A quick scan of their auras revealed the results.
Yes, their reactions might be a little overblown, but they're being honest,
Lucario said, cringing at their loud crying. You and me both. Okay, fine. Well, I won't leave you two behind, Chris told the kid. How much longer of this fucking chapter is left? Alright, not too long. Chris told the kids, who slowed down their sobbing to look up at him. He subconsciously embraced them. He embraced them with his mind, I guess. He embraced them both. I have to make do with who I talk to, and you two are nice enough to survive the chaos this place usually gets every day. But I believe Lucario is going to prove the best security I'll ever have. Lucario raised his face, feeling proud. With him, groups don't matter much to me, but I'll always be ready to join one if you're ever bored. The kids resumed crying and slammed their faces on his shirt. Thank you, Popo sobbed, his scream muffled.
You're not going to regret this,
Nana yelled next, her voice muffled as well. The teen forced a little smile and petted their heads with care. That's condescending. Chris had gotten his preview through Ness that these new characters getting into his life weren't going to be normal. The Ice Climbers were just another proof of that now he had got to meet them as some scheming kids with good intentions. Despite all their loud reactions and unsettling knowledge, they looked okay to him. Having been used to living with a Lucario had been indirect training for him to meet these new people and welcome them with open arms. Literally. Once the kids had settled down and started enjoying spending time with, a sane soul, seemingly safe from the corruption of the other guests. A nice alliteration. They all finished their breakfast roughly at the same time until Chris noticed there was bacon left on the frying pans. Oh, wait, I thought Pichu would already. He trailed off. Pichu? The Ice Climbers repeated, exchanging glances. Didn't you two hear? Chris asked them. Pichu was in the mansion.
He is?
Nana said. Oh, we just noticed we didn't talk about Pichu any.
Talk about me? Why?
Squeaked a voice from the direction of the lobby. It's not even that funny. I'm glad to see something interesting happening in the story. Well, you know, by comparison at least. The four turned east, and spotted the confused electric type standing there, head tilted to the side in confusion as he stared at them all. Minding the blue Goliath towering over the others, Pichu gulped to himself and calmly sneaked his way to them. His injuries had healed completely, as if he had never been badly hurt at all, with no recollection of the last days. Pichu, Popo said. You're here too?
Yeah,
Pichu said. Seeing a little Pokemon like Pichu talking had surprised Chris a lot. Was he just like Lucario in that he was special and knew how to talk human language as well? There had to be a good reason.
I came to a few minutes ago. At first, I got all scared because my head hurt and I didn't know how I got to my room. Ugh.
He rubbed his head quickly.
I have no idea why I think I'm missing something here.
Lucario looked away to look like he was not interested, while Chris joined his hands and shyly scratched their backs with his fingers. Popo and Nana didn't see them and just looked confused.
What, you have amnesia?
Nana asked.
Sort of. I don't know,
Pichu said, looking worried.
It's been nagging me.
Maybe you shouldn't think too much about it, Popo suggested. You're okay and all besides that, right?
Yeah.
Pichu nodded and looked a bit happy.
I shouldn't think about it too much then. I'm happy to see you two here, even if the halls were empty. Oh!
He noticed Chris first and ignored the scary monster behind him.
Who are you? Are you a new round here?
Chris had to forget he had ever had any contact with the very docile rodent. Lucario, for his part, needed to forget he had blindly smacked the poor thing into a wall smacked the poor thing into a wall during his rage fit. Yes, I'm new, Chris said, his smile twitching. I'm Chris. Nice to meet you.